and God. And during that conversation, I came to realise that the definition of what that word means is a very, very complex topic, and it means different things to different people. So when I talk about God, I want to explore a little bit more about what that word means to me. So let's discuss it. The standard definition of God, according to the monotheistic Christian, Muslim, Jewish faith, includes several attributes or skills or things that God needs to be considered God. They are omnipotence. God has to be omnipotent, right? God is all powerful and is capable of doing anything, right? Then we have to discuss omniscience. God knows everything. What's happened in the past, from the beginning of the universe, right into the future, to the end of the universe. God knows everything. And omnipresence, right? God exists everywhere, all of the time, even now, me talking to you. Immutability. God does not change. From the Big Bang to the Big Crunch, God doesn't change, remains the same from beginning to end. If there is a beginning or an end, I don't know. That God is the creator of the universe. God is the source of all and the creator of all matter and existence in the visible universe. People, monotheists, believe that God has moral perfection. God is perfectly just, good, and benevolent all of the time. I struggle with that one, you know, cancer in children, tsunamis, war, death. I struggle with moral perfection, allowing all those shitty things to happen. Well, it's not morally perfect. There may be a justifiable reason for non-interference from the deity, but if there is, I don't know it or get it. Transcendence. God exists beyond the physical universe. I mean, what does that even mean? It's beyond my feeble, demented imagination to get beyond that one. God being beyond and independent of the physical universe. But most monotheists believe it. So, you know, I take it. I take it as part of the ingredient for the God pie, so to speak. And the last, I think, value is immanence, which is God being present and active within the universe and within the lives of every living being in the universe are guided by God's hand. So that's the accepted monotheist kind of view, and the traits, the personality qualities that God has. But beyond that, there's more that I believe. I have more questions that doesn't answer for me. That's not good enough for me. So I want to add some more fringe ideas or threads to my opinion of God. So some definitions differ. So now we're moving away from monotheism and including some more of the fringe ideas. Pantheism, for example. God and the universe are identical. They are one in the same thing. Everything that exists within the universe is part of God. There is no visible distinction between creator and creation. Pantheism. Then I'm going to enunciate this quite carefully, but it's a difficult word. Panentheism. Panentheism. That is the notion that the universe is within God. Not part of, but within, inside of. God is more than just the universe. God extends beyond it while being present some of the time at their wish and whim within the universe, inside it. Panentheism ね、難しいこれは。Deism. Deists believe that God created the universe but does not intervene in any way with anything that's within the universe. So, set and forget, if you like. Press the button, switch it on, walk off, let it do its own thing. Deism. Process theology. God is not an all-powerful, omnipotent being. God changes in response to the unfolding events of the universe. Much as we do through the course of our lives, God changes with the course of the life of the universe. Process theology. Okay? Gnosticism. What do Gnostics believe, if anything? Gnostic tradition describes God as a distant, effable being, while a lesser, flawed spirit called the demiurge created the material world and all that is in it. And the demiurge is not God and is fallible, and the demiurge makes mistakes, which explains cancer in children and war and poverty, etc., etc. Simulation hypothesis. God is a coder. This is all part of some big game. I don't know if you've seen any of the PlayStation 5 Unreal Engine kind of stuff. Have you seen any of that? It's almost indistinguishable from reality. It looks like movies. Some of the Matrix stuff, the Matrix on PlayStation 5, it's incredible. It's incredible. And I go back to the ZX81 with a game called Pong, which is two things going up and down like that, and a white ball. And we've come that far in 40 years from Pong to PlayStation 5 Unreal Engine. Some of the stuff that they produce now. is indistinguishable from reality, but we're looking at it from the outside. With virtual reality, we're going to be inside. I've played with virtual reality. I love it. But you can still see virtual reality at the moment, it's like Pong used to be. But when you look back at Pong and compare to virtual reality, my children are now 16 and 13. That's how old I was when I was playing Pong, right? So where's VR going to be when my children are my age now, when they're 54? You know, it could well be, if it goes fast enough or in the same pace into the future as it's doing now, VR could be indistinguishable from reality. I mean, Pong to the new Apple Vision headset. Enough said. Simulation hypothesis. Then we go to God not being a physical being at all, the psychological interpretation. God is viewed as a symbol or an archetype representing the collective unconscious, an inner state of humanity. We all connected, inner state of humanity. That's a definition of God. Moral ideas of goodness rather than a literal being. You know, so when I talk with a Muslim or a Jew or, you know, a devout Christian, we find that connection through moral ideals and the inner state of being a human being. That's where I feel God. Kind of, you know, eclectic. Everything I've read, other than moral perfection, that God is perfectly good and just and benevolent, I struggle with that. But when you look at deism, if that's true, God set and forget. There's no inherent evil in that. You know, if you got a toy car and push it down a hill, you don't know if it's going to roll or not. So you shouldn't go down the hill in the car, just in case it tips over when it goes around a corner. You know, set and forget. Logic and reasoning without cultural and religious preconception interferes with my spiritual feelings, I guess. So I'm going to touch on four things here. The first clause argument. Some argue that the existence of the universe demands a first cause or a prime mover, which could be God, or a coder, or something else. The first cause argument suggests that God is necessary and is the cause of everything. The problem of evil. If God is omnipotent and morally perfect, the existence of evil presents a logical challenge, doesn't it? Cancer in children, war, poverty. Some people modify this classical definition of God with the process theology definition of God, where God is powerful but not omnipotent. So, you know, the cancer in children might be a genetic anomaly. You know, you create genetics, you create a computer code, you can't predict any glitch that code might come up against. The same with human DNA. We don't know. We don't know. God as a necessary being. Philosophers posit that God is a necessity whose existence is required for the existence of anything. Classical theism in a nutshell there, but it's blinkered. In that view is kind of blinkered. If you shut off all other sources of knowledge, you know, and then we come, the last sort of thing I'm going to talk about really is emergent divinity. What we perceive as God emerges from complex systems of consciousness. Well, it's all in the mind, basically. But each view, you know, the Muslim view, the Christian view, it's a different perspective from a different time, you know, where the Quran, you know, was written down after Muhammad, peace be upon him, spent time in the cave, and God's words were first written down. He was a man born in a particular time, in a particular location, a particular culture, which was different to the culture and the time and the location that Christ was born in, which was different from the time and the place and the location that many other philosophers and prophets have, you know, come through over the years. So the interpretation of the message, you know, by us mortal human beings, for want of a better word, takes away from the purpose of God. By taking parts of the fringe view and part of the monotheist view of God, we come to, you know, what do I think? My opinion. Right? We've looked at all the different ingredients, definitions of, bits of, you know, the mainstream and the fringe. You know, we've covered. So where am I in all this? God is divinity, and I think to try and give a physical form, to say it's a man, God is a he, is wrong. Humans are yin and yang, the male and the female, and any creator has to, you know, be party to that. The yin and the yang exist in God as well in humanity. You know, God created man in his image, they say, but human. Not the one with a dick and a balls, you know, the other one as well. There's two, and we're together, and without each other there is nothing. So I can't, you know, I can't get from that God is not male or even personable. It's an it for me. I feel God is an it. It's neither male or female. It is the divine feminine and the masculine. It is humanity. You know, humanity isn't men or only women. That's nonsense. And God is the same, in my humble opinion. God is a compassion, kindness, understanding, patience, love. openness. That's what it means to me. I have this thing that people talk to God. Lots of Christians and Jews and Muslims talk to God. But the percentage that actually listen is really, really small. They pay no attention to the signs or the even their own religious texts. They pay no attention to it. You know? Some of my friends and I have a perspective of surrender to the will of the universe, not fighting the path that we're meant to take. And I've done that. And it's happened recently. I just gave up. I'm trying to be something that I'm not. Just be me, do what I want, and fuck the consequences. You know, and it's working out. That having that, making that jump, having that trust to let go and swim in the river of life. You know, having done that, I feel free. I feel liberated. My past problems seem lesser. The future seems brighter. You know, I'm still a flawed human being, but having surrendered to the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, I feel better as a human being. And I think that's what counts. It doesn't matter whether you're a Muslim, Christian, Jew, Hindu, Jain, it doesn't matter. Buddhist, doesn't matter. The conscious attempt to be a better human being and to do no wrong to others, to be helpful, to be kind, gentle, encouraging, and positive for the people that are around you. And that's a struggle, and you might not ever make sense of it, but the reward is in the journey. You know, it's not all about immediate results. Yeah. So that's where I'm at with God, I think. That encapsulates my beliefs. A wise Rasta once said, and I tried to do an accent to make you laugh, but I'm not good with Jamaican patois. You can't believe in something you know. If you know, you can't believe it. So I don't believe in God. I know it. I know it to be true, but not in that mainstream form. So I consider myself to be spiritually homeless. There's no label I can put on myself. I said, this is me, my faith. You know, I can't do it. But that's kind of my feelings. You know, I don't believe. I know it to be true. My expression of it might be a little bit flawed and different to yours, but I know it to be true. It's not something I believe, and that's the difference. And if I can give you one thing, it's that don't believe in God. Know it. You know, live it. Be it. That divinity is in you. If you listen to God, to the universe, it comes good. But you have to listen, man. Not just talk. You know, conversation is a two-way street. Everybody gets tired of it. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, shut the fuck up. Go away. Get tired of it. It's a two-way street. So open your ears and listen. And you never know what information God is going to give you. Love you, Paddy, man. Thank you for the chats. It's valuable. I know we don't see eye to eye on everything, but thank you, mate. Thank you.